words. And I'm going to explain how we normally study, or how I normally study the text, is what they usually use the phrase PaRDeS. It's the Jewish way of studying the text. And there's 4 key levels in the text that they study. The first one is the P, it's Pshat. It's the simple. So we read the verse, Moses slew the Egyptian. We go, killed him. Pretty easy. Anybody can understand it. We also need to realize that in the text, the simple will always be right. You read the text, anybody can read this and understand it. If you think that I would preach that, no, you need to understand the Hebrew to be able to understand the Bible, no, you can read this and understand it. That's not what I'm getting at, but there's levels to this. There's depth to it. So the Pshat means the simple. The R is the Remez. Now this is a newer way that they've explained studying the text. Remez you couldn't find in first century literature at all, but the word allusion does show up. And Remez means hint. So in the text, when you're studying it, sometimes there's hints in it. So one of the ones that I find really easy to grasp is Christ is walking to Jerusalem through Jericho, and he meets Zacchaeus. And in his interactions with Zacchaeus, Christ says, this is Luke 19, that for the Son of Man came to seek and save the lost. What's the simple? He's coming to save the lost. What's the next level down, Remez? So Christ in his teaching, and almost everything that he teaches, is referencing something else. So our job as students is to say, why does he say Son of Man, and why does he say to seek and to save the lost? He's not just putting words together. Think master, teacher. So this background for that phrase is Ezekiel chapter 34. So God in Ezekiel 34 is very angry with the Israelites because the shepherds, the leaders of Israel, were leading them astray and have scattered the sheep. So Christ, by using that phrase, because it says that God, in Ezekiel chapter 34, would go find, seek, and save the lost sheep of Israel. God himself. Now, back up. Christ has scribes around him. He has Zacchaeus. He has his disciples. And he says, for the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which is lost. What did he just say? I'm God. What did the Sadducees and the Pharisees hear? You scattered the sheep. What did Zacchaeus hear? I can be saved. That's the power of Remez. So when you're studying these phrases, these words, there is so much depth in here. And Christ, all throughout his ministry, is quoting it. I heard one rabbi say that everything that Christ said or did was in the text that he was living out. And I agree with that. And we have to find those definitions of what's there. The third one is Drash. This is midrash, or expository or application, where they take the text and apply it out in other teachings or combination of scriptures. That's normally where you will see it. There'll be a phrase in the text and a phrase in the text that's identical in 2 different chapters. They'll take those 2 chapters and merge them together. We would think that is absolutely heresy, and you can't do that. But a good teacher with authority does that all the time. If this phrase is here and this phrase is here, that means they can go together. So Christ does this in his sermon in Nazareth. So he says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He has Messiahed me to bring the good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim the release of the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Jubilee. He is quoting out of Isaiah chapter 61. Now my question for you is, what part did he misquote? Did you know that he edited Isaiah? Left something out? Words matter. We read through it and go, that's awesome, man. He's the Messiah. Let me read to you what Isaiah says. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me because he's anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind. Let the oppressed go free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor and to declare the day of vengeance on his people. This is not about vengeance. This is about seeking and saving the lost. Now, if you're in that audience, you know Isaiah. He's reading out of the scroll, and he skips a part of a verse. Now what? The final one here is the Sod, S-O-D. That's the hidden and the secret. We're going to be studying the first two a little bit today, but I just want you to put there where there's multiple depths in there. The Sod normally means where you grab the root of the word. Like we're not going to go that deep on the word nacha this morning, but you can actually go down and take the root of that word and then begin to study the root of the word and find the hidden meanings. I call it the wheel, where all the root is in the middle and you have these spokes going out that give you the full definition of what that word is. I'm not going to go there this morning, but I just want you to see what that is.